Good afternoon. So I think it's that time. Eat, Move, Be Happy's Movement Not Miracles session. I'm just going to witter a little bit. I'm copying Karen Reese's style whilst I see if anybody's actually going to join me. Sarah is here. Thank you. There's a couple of people, and there's some Bubbles, Mark and Caroline. Brilliant. So I don't know about you, but I'm sitting at my kitchen table and working away. Hi Claire, hi Karen, and certainly the place that I'm feeling it the most is my upper back. So my upper back gets really stiff, and I'm beginning to get some aches and pains just in between my shoulder blades. So the focus for today is to try and help with keeping your upper back moving and your shoulders nice and your posture good, but your shoulders nice and relaxed, and so that you're not hunching. So the first thing to say is you're going to need to do this more than once. Second time is always better, but actually in this case, if you do it regularly throughout the day, that's better still. So I'm going to take you through a routine of stretches and mobility work that you can do when I'm not here as well. Nice and simple, and some of the stuff that I showed last week when I did this is a sort of an introductory session. So to start off with, I'm not actually going to stand up because that's good for you to start off with. If you can do this standing, then do it standing, because that in itself means that you're not sitting sort of hunched up. So I'm just going to roll my shoulders and really think about squeezing your shoulder blades back together, back and down as you come back round through that roll. And even that feels better. When you're standing, think of standing tall. So we don't want to be standing with your shoulders forwards. It doesn't look very nice, does it? So we want to be standing tall as we can, with space across your collarbones. So your shoulders have to be back and down for that to happen, and that's a better posture. To help with that shoulder mobility, another good one for me is if you put your hands up behind your head and interlock them, and keep your elbows back. So we don't want our elbows forwards like this. Elbows are back, and we're just going to bend, keeping your lower half still, but we're going to bend through that top part of your back. Now you won't be able to move very far because your back isn't designed to move loads. Your spine is there for stability, but actually that feels quite nice. If you need to do this sitting, that's fine. Just make sure you sit tall out of the chair. Don't be slumped down. And do this a couple of times on each side. And for me, I'm just going to roll my shoulders again, and then go back to, it's a bit like elephant ears, I guess, isn't it? We'll call it elephant ears. I think that's a good sign. And I'm trying to concentrate on the vertebrae in the very top part of my back. Try and relax through your neck and breathe through each of these moves. We don't want you holding your breath. That's not actually very good for you either. So, and actually as you breathe, it helps you get a little bit more movement and relax into the stretch. We do need to do this one sitting down. This is the twist that we did last week. So we're going to sit on the edge of the chair, sit nice and tall, weight evenly through both sides of your bottom, and we're going to reach back with one arm, stay sitting tall, don't slouch down, and just hand on one knee. So I'm twisting around to my right, so my left hand is on my right thigh, and my right arm is just pulling me around, holding onto the back of the chair. If the chair's too high, you can hold on to the lower part of the chair, but actually that feels really nice. And each time you breathe out, see if you can just move a millimetre more. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. stay sitting tall and keep breathing. And again, you're aiming for a twist in that upper part of your back. But if you can think of each vertebrae being stacked, think of moving from the lowest bit down and each one moving rather than just trying to move your shoulders around. We're going to do that again on this side because the second time is always better. The clock was in the show, yeah, it did. It chimed. I can read the comments. Okay, and back round to the other side. Make sure you're sitting tall, broad across your collarbones. Okay, that's nice. I just need to wake my iPad back up to remind me what's next. Okay, we can do these standing or sitting. I'm going to go back to standing because that just helps me anyway. So this time we're going to stretch across our chest. So you're going to interlock your fingers together and straighten your arms as much as you can so that you should feel the stretch across the muscles in the top of your chest. And again, keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. If you can, my shoulder flexibility isn't brilliant, so I actually struggle with this one, but you want your arms not resting on your bottom, and we don't want your shoulders hunched up like this, so make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. And keep breathing. And then to take that in more into the shoulders, so away from the chest but into the shoulders, if you interlock your fingers, stand nice and relaxed. Again, you can do this sitting down, and you're going to turn your hands out, and keeping your shoulders down, we're just going to lift our arms up straight. Now, if you've got shoulder flexibility like mine, your hands will probably be about there. And what we're aiming for is to move, that's really quite hard work for me, is to push your shoulder blades onto your back. Don't let your bottom stick out. Don't let your belly stick out, so we don't want any of this. So keep your belly in and your bum tucked under. So support yourself through your core and aim for working to get your shoulders, your arms back behind your ears. And that's quite hard work for me, and you want your arms as straight as possible. And then relax, and then cross your fingers, interlock your fingers the other way so that your other little finger is on the bottom. You'll have a preferred way of doing it. None of them's wrong, but we just stretch slightly differently on each side. So, fingers out, and exactly the same move. Do not let that belly stick out. Do not let your bum stick out. Keep your shoulders down and keep breathing. Okay, that's nice. So I don't know about you, but my upper back feels a little bit better now. And then we're just going to do one that will stretch through the whole of your spine, helps stretch through your lumbar spine and stretches the backs of your legs. So we're going to use the table for this. I showed you this one last week. So you need to be far enough away from, you can do it on a kitchen work surface. It's a forward bend, so if you do have issues with your back, take this one nice and steady. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart, and you need to be far enough away from your table or your work surface so that your legs stay vertical. So we don't want them so far back that your legs, you can't actually see that, can you, but your legs are sticking out like that. Your arms need to be straight, but you don't want to be like this either. So your legs need to be vertical, and you need a solid surface so that you can push down with your arms. So I always think of sticking my bottom back. So stick your bottom back to the wall behind you and lower down through your shoulders. And you should see that my back is flat. Now I can feel that stretch through my hamstrings, and if I push down with my hands, I can feel that moving into my upper back, which is where I also want it and keep breathing and see if you can push a little bit harder through those shoulder blades. And if you lift your head up, it increases the stretch in your upper back, which helps get a little bit more mobility through all those vertebrae in between your shoulder blades. So that's our 10 minutes. So that should feel a little bit better in your upper back. If you want a reminder of some of the other stretches and mobility moves that you can do for your hips and your hamstrings, then if you check back on the group to the session I did on Thursday, that I go through a couple more exercises there. You don't just have to stop there, you can keep going if you want to. But if you did that 3 or 4 times a day, then I guarantee that's going to help with your posture and just warding off those aches and pains in your upper back. And don't sit for ages in the same position. Get up and move around. I don't know, put a timer on your watch. And just have a bit of a walk and a bit of a stretch when you do it. So hopefully that was useful. Good, Sarah, I'm glad you're joining in. Hopefully that was useful for you. If there's anything else that you want us to cover, then put it in the comments below, and we can add those in as the days go on. We'll keep doing these for if people are interested in them. It's certainly helping me stretch. So thank you for joining in, and I will see you tomorrow.